welcome back to Concert Critiques in Cars with Emily. So this one, I almost didn't buy a ticket for, but then when I listened, it's a album anniversary tour. And so when I listened to the album, saw that it was released on my birthday back in 1997, I was like, yeah, I feel like I should do this. So let's just get into it because there's a lot to talk about. So the opener was a band called Hooray for the Earth. I had never heard of them before. And so for the first song, one guy came out with an electric guitar and there was a quick instrumental intro and then he began singing. The guitar overall was like really very electric-y sounding, and it definitely distracted from the lyrics for the first song for me. After that, he was like, "How is it?" And he was like, "I meant like, how are you?" But then he kind of ran with it, which was really like genuine and really funny. He was like, okay, well, you can interpret that however you want. Like, maybe how is your sandwich, or how is the temperature? Maybe how's the temperature of the sandwich, or how's the temperature in general? So I really liked that. I thought that was, again, it just seemed like genuine and he just kind of ran with it. So I liked that. I thought that was fun. After that, the second song, again, just started with the guitarist and then a drummer came out. Really liked the lyrics at the beginning. Definitely also nice that I could hear them a little bit more. And then the drummer started playing after the first verse. So that was definitely a much better song. I really did like that song because I could actually hear more of the lyrics. And then during that second song, there was definitely a part that was like screamy, like a scream, which definitely caught my attention. So I really liked that song. For the third song, a bassist came out and there was like a huge instrumental shift for the bridge. And for some reason, I was not feeling it. It just didn't work for me. It was like maybe too much of a change or just didn't really seem to fit. I don't know. It was just something about it. And then after that, there was like a very squealy guitar solo, like a lot of like feedbacky sound. But again, it just like didn't quite work. That was definitely not the song for me. After that, the crowd, like randomly, someone in the crowd was like, "Drum solo!" So the drummer just like started playing and then the guitarist did, and then they went into the next song. So that was pretty cool. I really liked the instrumentals and the lyrics much better, and much better than they had such a good transition from the chorus to the bridge. And again, it was like a difference, but it was just like a much more comprehensive difference. I don't know, it just really worked. So I liked that song. And then the next song, I really liked the instrumentals, and the beginning, especially the drums. I liked she was like hitting just like a stack of tambourines, I think. So I really liked that. The lyrics were good for the chorus. Was a little cheesy. So I liked the lyrics overall, but I don't know, it's just like the surrounded by your friends part just like was a little bit too much. And it got repeated a lot. So I don't know, it just was a little bit cheesy. So then for their last song, they started with the drums and like a sound pad and pedals. So the singer was like on the ground with the mic and the pedals. The drummer was obviously on the drums, and then the bassist went to the sound pad. I really actually enjoyed the instrumentals a lot in this song. And then I actually really enjoyed when the lyrics kicked in as well. I'm gonna say it was called Over and Out. That seemed to be the lyric that stuck out the most to me. Really, really liked the instrumentals overall, like really good. At the end, the drummer came out and she just like threw her sticks and walked off the stage. So that was pretty like fun, just like a random walk off. So that was their set. Definitely interesting. That third song, not my favorite. Overall it was good. Let's get into Modest Mouse. All right, so it's a Modest Mouse. Did I not say that at the beginning? I may not have. Sorry, guys. So sorry. So Modest Mouse was doing their Lonesome Crowded West tour, and they played the album from start to finish in order. So that was definitely nice. Again, so like, keep in mind, can't really judge based on the order that they picked because it was just straight from the album. And honestly, it's a really good track listing for an album. It works really well. The song order is fantastic. so they didn't really need to change it anyway. And I'm glad that they didn't, because I think that, again, like, I honestly don't even know how I would have changed it to like make it better. It's a fantastic order, it really is. So they started with Teeth Like God's Shoe Shine. Man, it's just like they came out and they went right into it. It's just such a loud, powerful start to a song. The bridge is fantastic. Loved seeing it live. The instrumental part was so good. And then, you know, they have the breakdown, and then this like sudden build back up with the instruments. It was just like so fantastic. Again, definitely a fantastic start to a set in general. And again, I know it's the first song on the album, so they didn't really have a choice, but man, it was really good. It was really, really good. After that, they played Heart Cook's Brain. Loved the lyrics in the first verse. I almost actually didn't recognize it at first, and I was like, I don't know, it was just like weird. I don't know if it was that the instruments were loud or the singing was quiet, or if it was just me not like processing it correctly. But at first I was like, is this the song that I think it is? And then like a few lines in, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is exactly what I thought it was. But yeah, again, like great to see live, really great follow-up. I'm gonna try not to say that because they're all great follow-ups except for ones, but we'll get there. So then after that, he stopped to talk, and he was blocking the light like this with his hand. And so people thought he was waving. And so they all started waving. He was like, oh, no, I'm not waving. I'm just trying to block the light so I can like see you guys. But then he did start waving. So I don't know, it was just like a little bit of a funny little anecdote that I'm assuming didn't happen at every show. But yeah, so that was pretty fun. So then after that, they went into convenient parking. Love the super short, quick feel of the verse and the lyrics, especially in the second verse. Really love that. After that, they played Lounge, parentheses, closing time. Like just the opening guitar and the opening lyrics. It just felt so good to like be seeing it live. It was just, the minute they started that guitar, you're just like, oh, this is so good. So yeah, so I really, really liked that song. And then they break it down. So love seeing this song. And it also did sound like there was a subtle difference in the guitar during like the pre-bridge when they got into the actual like instrumental part. So yeah, if you noticed that, let me know. After that, they played Jesus Christ Was an Only Child. Really excited to see this one live. Loved the oohs and ahs between verses. Also, like, loved the lyrics in the chorus, especially about like knowing now and then, like that whole section of that chorus. Loved it. The bassist was not on stage for that song, so there was no bassist. But really fantastic. Again, it was amazing seeing that song. After that, doing the cockroach was next. Just the opening itself, you're just like, yep, this is the song. It was fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. So that was really, really fun to see. The instrumentals were so good in that song as well. And then after that, was Cowboy Dan. So good. So overall, Cowboy Dan is like a little bit slower, especially after doing the cockroach. He messed up the guitar part and like stopped like halfway through the first line and then restarted. So that was, again, just like a unique little thing. He was like, oh man, like I really like that went to shit. And so he was just like, oh gosh. And so he had to restart it. So that was, again, just like a fun, interesting thing that probably didn't happen every show. But yeah, there's just such a good build up by the end of the first verse. The instrumentals like then just get so powerful, and then they fade again. I loved the guitar right before the bridge. Loved lyrics in the bridge. Definitely changed the guitar towards the end with a pedal. At least I'm pretty positive. And I loved it. Again, great changes overall. Anything that was changed was fantastic. There weren't a ton that I was sure about, but there were definitely some subtle ones that I'm pretty positive about. After that comes Trailer Trash. That was one of the songs like I basically came to see, right? I listened to the album and I was like, man, if I could see Cowboy Dan and Trailer Trash Oh, that would be so good. So again, I might be a little bit biased, but this was such a good one. Love the instrumentals and the lyrics so much. Like really just super fantastic. Definitely changed the pacing subtly in the second chorus before the instrumental bridge, the bridge was so good, guys. It was just so good to hear the bridge. So after that was Out of Gas. Really like the song too. Maybe changed the pacing in the chorus. I can't be sure because he's saying it the same way for the first chorus and the second chorus. So as I was listening to the second chorus, I was like, I don't know if he actually changed it. But for some reason, the first time he sang it, I was like, ooh, that's different. I don't remember hearing it that way. Short but good. Really love that song. So then after that, they played Long Distance Drunk. It was so weird. So I knew that song going in and I was excited to hear it. And especially after Out of Gas, I was like, oh, this is like such a good like 1-2 hit. But for some reason, I don't know what it was. The vibe was just like not there for me. Loved hearing it. Glad I got to hear it. But just, I don't know, like it just didn't seem to match the previous song. And like, especially maybe coming off of such a good like 1-2-3 combo for me personally, it just fell short. Again, it was good. I was glad to be like listening to it and hearing it, but it fell short for some reason. Yeah, so I don't know. That was just like lull is not the right word because it wasn't really a lull. Again, good to hear, but it was just so bizarre to me. It was like, ooh, that's not really working. So that was interesting. And again, it's not like the song was bad or anything, but it just, the vibe was different, I think. So that was a little bit strange. Then they played Shit Luck. Man, that vibe came right back. It was a real quick turnaround. Like this full instruments, so good, like short, quick lyrics. Followed, you just have like this short burst of lyrics and then you have this like instrumentals that's just like full and just, it was so good. Really, really liked hearing that song. After that, they played Trucker's Atlas and I was hoping that he would change either Arizona or California to Virginia, DC, Maryland, anything. But definitely did not. There was, at least not that I noticed, maybe someone else noticed, but you would think the crowd would kind of cheer if it was an obvious change. So that was a little bit disappointing just because I like when bands do that, they make it a little bit more personal. But then again, I do understand you're playing an hour and 15 minutes worth of music that you have to memorize all the lyrics to. So, changing it, I get it. Love the instrumentals in the second verse of the song. Really liked the less instrumentally full parts of this song. And he played the guitar with his mouth or like sang into the guitar during like the instrumental part. So that was definitely interesting and pretty cool and definitely unique. After that, they played Polar Opposites. Love the chorus of the song and the quick short feel of the verses. So again, I really liked that song. And it's interesting because again, it like definitely has a little bit of a different vibe going on, like compared to Trucker Atlas, at least like the epic ending of that. But it still worked, whereas like Long Distance Drunk didn't. So I don't know, it was just really interesting. Anyway, so then after that, they played Bankrupt on Selling. Definitely has like a slower start and so they started with just the acoustic guitar. Again, there was no bassist. Really loved the lyrics in this song, especially the first verse. It's just so good. And then I'm not sure, but he may have changed the pacing a bit in the second verse. It just sounded like there was a little bit of a change. So then after that, they played the last song on the album, which was Styrofoam Boots / It's All on Ice, All Right. Love the quick, short feel. No bassist, and the guitarist left as well, so it was just the lead singer who was playing the guitar on stage. But then the guitarist came back out, and then the bassist also made his way back out, and it was really cool when like all the instruments, the drums and everything came in. Loved the speeding up instrumentals at the end. So good. So like such a great way to go out. It was like they just sped up the instrumentals. It was a great way to end that set. And then they left for the encore. Let me tell you, the encore was where this show is either going to be made or broken, because not only was it the third night in DC that had sold out, but it also was the end of the tour. Okay, so like, you gotta go big because you're going home, right? Like, so you gotta like go all out here. And so let's get into the encore, because up until this point, the show is pretty fantastic. Opener was pretty good. A few lows. One random low that I wasn't expecting from this, but like, so far, it's fantastic. So let's get into the encore. So for the encore, he messed up the first few lines, and so this is where I'm a little bit confused. And so if you know, please tell me, because I genuinely would like to know. So he messed up the first few lines, and it actually almost sounded like he was going to play a different song. And then he was like, I messed up again. And so he restarted, and when they restarted the song, it seemed like a different song. So I don't know if it's like there were a few lines that were played in that manner, and then they like immediately changed it. I didn't know the song, which was a problem, guys. Come on, play songs I know, please. Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't recognize it, and I was a little bit bummed. But the good thing was I actually really enjoyed seeing it live. Really liked the lyrics in the chorus, and the instrumental bridge, and then the instruments at the end. So like, it was a good song. Definitely more of an upbeat, energetic song. Got the crowd back in. So even though I didn't know it, and I can complain about that, I actually didn't complain about it, because I was like, okay, I actually like this song. I'm assuming it's a newer song. And so again, it was like great. It was like cool. It's this like different song that I haven't heard before, and I love it. So it was a good start to an encore. The next song was All Night Diner, which I recognized immediately. And so it was like really nice to see that song live. And it was also nice to see that they played something a little bit older. Would not have been my personal choice if I got to pick, which is a really big problem for me, because I just want to see Spitting Venom and Ocean Breeze Salty. Those are the two Modest Mouse songs I have not seen live yet that I really, there's like maybe three, but those are two of the like three songs that I have not seen yet that I want to see live. So again, it was nice to see, but it would not have been my choice. So then after that, it was only the guitar at first. Another song I didn't recognize, had a slower start. Was not a good follow-up for me. Did not enjoy the song. It was slow. It was not a song that I knew. It didn't match the previous song. Really like, that was so the low of Modest Mouse's set for me, and it was in the encore on the final night of their tour, on the third night sellout. Like, I just like, really, guys, you couldn't have just, I don't know, played something else? It's just, it was really disappointing. That was definitely the low for me in this one. So the next song they played was Baby Blue Sedan, which was actually a really good follow-up to the previous song, because it had more of a slower vibe to it. And again, at first I was like, oh, this wouldn't have been my choice, but then like halfway through I was like, all right, this is a good choice. So I'm glad I got to see that song. It was really cool to see live. The last song I did not recognize, but at least it had a much more energetic vibe than the two songs before that. I liked the guitar during the bridge. There was like one guitar part in particular that I really enjoyed. And then at the end, that's like the song that they ended on, and for sure that would not have been my choice. So, man, I love Modest Mouse, and anytime they come to the area, they usually put on a really good set. And the fact that they played the Lonesome Crowd West from start to finish was incredible. So good. But that encore, again, I appreciate that if they have new music and that's what they played, then they played their new music. But I just feel like on your last night, on the third night of a sold out tour, or sold out like city portion of your tour, and then to also be the end of your tour. I don't know, man. Just something could have been so epically great if it had just been more popular, older songs. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed with the encore. Especially that third song. It was just not a good choice. You could see the like, in the crowd, like they're just like, you go from All Night Diner, which was a good choice, again, not my choice, but a good choice, and everyone's like excited, and then you just go into that next song and it's like the crowd just was not feeling it. All right, so score. All right, so Hooray for the Earth was pretty good. Again, didn't know any of their stuff. That third song was not my favorite. Modest Mouse did a fantastic job with the Lonesome Crowded West. So good. Again, that one song just like didn't fit, but it wasn't bad. It just, for some reason, was just not like, it just was like weird. But other than that, again, you can't change the order because they went from start to finish, so that was a good choice. Fantastic, really energetic songs, really great to see songs that I haven't seen either in a long time or at all, so that was really cool. And then their encore, man, just killed. Oh, it was so not what I wanted. And I know that I'm like maybe being snobby, but it was just not what it was just not great. Man, so like unfortunately I'm definitely gonna have to dock some serious pointage off. But again, Lonesome Crowded West was so good. That part of the show was so fantastic. Just hearing those guitars and that like lyrics, it was just so good. Oh boy. All right, I am gonna give this one a 7.5. 7.5. If it hadn't been Lonesome Crowded West from start to finish, it for sure would have been lower. But there were just parts of that set that were so good. So 7.5 is my score. Let me know if you agree. Super interested to know if you went to one of the other 2 nights in DC or any night in the country. And if the encore was different, and if you felt it was a good encore, or if you would have changed some things. Please let me know. Like, genuinely interested. And yeah, so 7.5. Let me know what you think. Were you there? Did you want to go? Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.